And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to more Wrestling with Friends Thursday bonus content edition. Thank you guys for tuning in last week. We got lots of downloads. We appreciate that. Keep it up. Share it with your friends. With me, as always, it's my awesome co-host, Mr. Jeff Dye, a.k.a. Lord Joffrey, the never could have been maybe one day tag team partner of Sir William Regal. Yep. Mr. Jeff Dye, how are you, sir?
What could have been is what I always say. What could have been.
You would have watched Lord Joffrey and William Regal versus anybody in 1986.
Heck yeah. Lord Joffrey, the Prince of Puerto Rico in the house, you know what I'm saying?
I'm your manager. I'll be your manager, bro. Come out with, like, instead of a tennis racket like Cornette, I come out with like a miniature golf club.
Yeah, that is, for Cornette to think that a tennis racket would be a good idea to bring to the ring. Hey, he's so critical of everybody's gimmicks.
It never went wrong. Yeah. It never went wrong and accidentally hit him instead.
Yeah, he's pretty...
That's why he brought it out, Jeff, so that the babyface could take it and smack him over the head with it. I thought that was good.
You should have a weapon.
Because it break like the Looney Tunes cartoons. I always thought it was so great. You hated it? I loved it.
Maybe it's fun.
Dude, it's like Sylvester the Cat, like when a dog catches him and wham, and you know what?
Yeah,
no?
The head goes through. I know, but like Cornette
it.
Is so critical of everybody's gimmicks, and then he came out with a tennis racket.
Well, yeah, but that just means he's may not be as open-minded as we'd like him to be. Yeah. But the tennis racket was still a good bit.
I like it.
See, this is what you get on bonus.
Seemed like something Brother Love would do, not something Jim Cornette would do, you know?
No one is allowed to slander the good name of Brother Love on anything that I'm associated with. I love you, Bruce. Bruce was actually like my main mentor when I went to work for WWE. Like, he was the one that kind of took me under his wing. Well, first he threw me in the deep end of the pool to see if I could swim. And then after I showed him that I could demonstrate all four strokes, then he was really good to me and started teaching me how to pitch and what kind of stuff the boss liked. I wanted to pitch more sophisticated stories to kind of like slowly build up to it and not go with my best story first because it would get shot down. And we're still friendly to this day, me and Bruce.
I love it.
I love you, Jeff Dye. I love you.
I love you. He's Miss Brother Love. Miss guys like that.
Dude, he was money, man. Imagine just painting your face red as hell, slicking your hair back, putting on that white suit and going, this is the character that I'm going to bring to television. And someone had to say yes.
And somehow it worked.
And then he goes out there and makes it work. And like where every single step on this bridge is just rickety and barely holding together, and he still made it across, and people love Brother Love to this day, man. Like, there was no way that should have worked, and it just
I'm shocked
worked.
It did.
There's no way any Jim Carrey movie should have worked, but the level of commitment makes it work, and that's what it's all about with all wrestling characters, managers or others. Jeff, WWE is for sale again, so to speak, even though they've been purchased by Endeavor. And they're now in bed with the UFC. Former enemies now in bed together. I know you guys remember all the trash talk that Dana White said about the WWE, and suddenly those tapes are still there. But he apparently hasn't ever seen them because he just has glowing things to say, which lets you know that even the people you think are bossless still have a friggin' boss.
Facts.
But the licensing deal. Vince leases the show basically, to put a different perspective on it, to USA and NBC Universal, which is why USA never had much say over the show. They couldn't really give notes. They could make suggestions, but Vince didn't have to follow or obey any of those. In fact, when I worked there, Vince would mess with them. Like on the draft, one year he drafted John Cena, which was the only ratings Monday Night Raw would get. He drafted him to Friday Night SmackDown, and USA freaked out and started calling. And this was in the script, so we already knew. And he drafted him back to Monday Night Raw with the final pick of the draft that night, which is the stupidest thing. Like, it delegitimizes the entire draft process that they do every year. Like, that could actually actually happen. No, we want him. No, we want him. No, we want just every draft pick. And he did it just to screw with the people that he basically leases his show to. So that's how little say they had. But that deal is over. And there are a couple suitors to go after him, some more realistic than others. And I think we should get into them right now. But first, what are your thoughts on them leaving the friendly confines of NBC Universal?
I never know what any of that's going to mean. We've talked about this before, and you're like, I'm always so confused. Like, if I was honest, if they never put any of those things, I would never notice. I would never be like, wait, this feels like. I always just blame any changes like on Vince or a slow month. So like, I don't really know what it would mean for any of that crap, anyways. But they've been good so far. As long as wrestling doesn't go away, I don't care who owns it and who's doing whatever.
The two main people that I think they're talking to, or that they're known to be talking to, are Disney and Amazon. And if this drags out, I have one buddy in that part of the industry that I'll ask if he has any insights and hopefully be able to give you guys some inside information. Dun, dun, dun. But if it goes to Amazon, it's the first time WWE will ever be streaming. And I mean ever. And I will say this. I know for a fact Amazon's interested in wrestling because All Cards on the Table, that's who I was talking to about my federation before I wasn't going to have any ownership whatsoever at the end of the day, and they wanted showrunners. So I know they have an interest in wrestling. So that's where I think it's going to go. They're going to offer them way more money than they offered me, that's for sure. And they've already jumped into the live format with, was it Thursday? I think they do Thursday Night Football. So I think that's probably the destination. But what do you think? Do you like Amazon? Do you watch Amazon?
I've never watched anything on Amazon. I don't think.
You have? Okay, so this is interesting to me because everybody uses it, right? But how many people, not all these, they don't release numbers. And when they do, they're not true. So that's the downside is if it goes to Amazon, how many people stop watching wrestling? And this has been a good year for wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't want bad things to happen. So you've never had, would you? But you would go to Amazon if wrestling went, right?
Maybe. I mean, I think I'd probably just watch all the stuff on YouTube or something. Because like, here's the thing. If they got to stop making things hard to watch. Like I watch every pitch of Mariners baseball and I have the MLB package, which they advertise, watch every game. And then it's every few days, they're like, this is blacked out because this game's in Anaheim and you're in the area. And I was like, so now I have to use my local TV, which I don't have local TV, but I use an app to like whatever. So now I'm paying for that and I'm paying for the MLB TV. And then every Friday, they're like, we're on Apple TV. This game's free on Apple, or this game's on Apple, free if you have Apple TV. They're just making it so hard that I'm getting so annoyed just trying to watch baseball. And I'm afraid the same thing might happen with wrestling. And wrestling fans, no disrespect, they're a little cheaper than most fans. Like I see them complain about things all the time.
It's the most affordable ticket in live entertainment. Yeah. It's like that, and I think the Monster Trucks is right over that.
Which is the same thing. Wrestling is Monster Trucks, I
friggin' love Monster Trucks. We went to the one that they just had at where the Rams play. What do they call that? SoFi. I'm a Raiders fan. That was my first time going. My kids are big Rams fans, and they were like, the stadium's so nice. I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll see. When we went to WrestleMania there, I was like, God damn, this place is so nice.
Yeah, it's huge.
It was pretty good. But they had monster trucks there, and it was friggin' awesome.
I bet the truck drivers loved doing SoFi because it's so big that they had space. Because they cram that in sometimes, and you feel like the truck's coming at you.
Shout out to all of them, by the way. They were super cool to my kid. They were super cool to my wife. They were nice to Sarah. They probably had a crush on her.
Exactly.
But they were super nice to my son and treated everybody real good.
Love that.
Shout out to monster truck drivers all over the world.
Big monster truck guy. Next time you go, let me come with you guys. It sounds fun.
Now, the other place that they're talking about is Disney. And that's the one that I think people are more worried about. Maybe you're less worried about because you like ESPN probably, so maybe you have that package. But I'll compare it to Deadpool. When Disney got Deadpool, hey, you make weird references, okay? I can make a weird one.
I'm interested to hear. Where are you going with it?
When Disney got their hands on Deadpool, the fan base went ballistic because there's only one way to make Deadpool, and that would seemingly be to be as far away from Mickey Mouse as humanly possible. they seem like the absolute worst fit in the history. Like they're Hollywood divorces to where when they get married, you go, oh, that ain't gonna work. And then in a year, you're like, told you, I celebrate your failure, you fuckers, which is mean and cruel, and you should stop that. But that's how people felt when this happened. They really wanted Fox to maintain control of that. And I think that's the concern for wrestling fans is if Disney has its hands on WWE. We were just trying to get to a more rated R type of content. Even WWE's talked about doing more adult content. And now you're going to go to the place where no adult content is allowed. It's weird. Now, maybe that's too extreme of you on Disney. I don't know. I don't watch anything on the Disney app. I don't care about the Disney app. I have ESPN Plus to watch UFC fights. And that's the only thing I use ESPN for is to watch MMA. They turned sports into soap operas, and I have pro wrestling. I don't need that. I'm good on my stories, man. So if it went to Amazon, would you pay the dough to go to Amazon as well? Or would you just start doing the YouTube thing like you were saying?
How can you watch things on Amazon? Is it just like Amazon Prime Plus or something, or what is it?
Bro, okay. Truth be told, I'm 47 years old, and I need help with technology, all right? I'm just now learning this stuff. So Amazon's a little tricky for me, but I believe you just move the cursor to where it says, people are laughing at me so bad right now. You just go to the search area, which is like a magnifying glass, right? And you just type in WWE and it will pop up. So if that,
well, then yeah, I'd definitely do that.
Okay, now I'm just saying if I don't know if that's what it is, because to me that's about the extent of what I can do with all these apps.
Because I have Amazon Prime. I'm getting messages here. If you get Amazon Prime, you get the video for free.
You're gonna do it. Speaking of not having cable, we just got rid of DirecTV and we're going full YouTube TV now. That's what we're going with. It was funny. You said something earlier about making things more difficult to watch. I'm a Dodgers fan, and the Dodgers and DirecTV for years could not make a deal. And it pissed me off so bad that I had already gotten rid of DirecTV and was using cable because that's who made the deal and just got rid of one of our receivers. But I hated having to have that extra DirecTV bill every month, even though I'm not seeing it. But the moment Sarah was like, hey, let's go to YouTube TV, I felt good about getting rid of DirecTV because I was mad they made it harder for me to watch baseball. I was like, tricky. Tell them to screw off. Ha, 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 ha.
I just don't like the way they make it too difficult.
Yeah, that turns old people off. But again, the world isn't made. Once you're turned 45, you're out of the key demo and the world is no longer for you. And it's not going to take care of you people. It's a cold, dark place.
Yeah. They don't have our best interests in mind anymore.
All right, Jeff, you know what time it is, bro. It's time for the most expensive jingle in the history of iHeart podcasts. Don't laugh. It makes me laugh that I can't do it. Or then I can't push the button that makes it do it. Here we go. Don't look, because I see your face.
I just love when you do this.
It's Jeff Dye's Hot Tag of the Week. Yeah.
You love to hear it.
I tried it.
Well,
I tried.
No, that was great. What are you talking about? Just so you know, it's pre-recorded.
I wanted it to be a little sexy at the end, and it didn't come off as sexy as I hoped. So that's why.
My hot take of the week is a shout out, a tribute to a guy we lost, a guy we like, a guy we loved, one of the OGs of gimmick heels. He's the best. He was not the first heel. He won't be the last, but he's one of the greatest heels of all time. Also, which is, of course, everyone knows who I'm talking about, the Iron Sheik. We lost Sheiky, who has the greatest Twitter account, the greatest in-ring trash talk. I don't know if he was the first, but he's the first one I ever saw to take the microphone while everyone's booing and go, shut up, all of you, like that, just to show that it's bothering him that they're booing him. I don't know if he did it first, but it was definitely the first person I've ever seen, and he's so funny and so good. He also comes from a generation of wrestling in I'm guessing like late 70s, early 80s, where they didn't just have a gimmick, they lived their gimmick. Guys like Bob Backlund, guys like Iron Sheik, where if you met them, you got the character. You didn't get to see them be regular. You didn't get to see Iron Sheik with his 3 daughters being sweet, talking about how much he loves his wife and what. the second you see Sheik, he goes right into Sheiky. Fuck you, baba. Like the whole, like he just does the whole thing. Hulk Hogan is the gay. He's the gay ass. You know, it's like I just loved that he was always in it. And there are wrestlers that do that. Like Bob Backlund will never let you see him not being a psychopath. But to be a bad guy forever, there was never a good Iron Sheik. Like he was just so good, so funny. I've met him multiple times. He signed a ton of things for me, and his handwriting looks like worse than my 3-year-old niece's handwriting. There's just so many things about Iron Sheik that are hilarious. He had a lot of ups and a lot of downs in his personal life, but who doesn't? One of my favorites is a story that I've told often, is that he was signing a bunch of autographs, and my buddy who owns the autograph company would rent out these spaces. And sometimes he'd use my place because he wouldn't have to pay for a hotel or something. He'd just go, let's go to Jeff's. So Iron Sheik's signing stuff, and he goes, mind if I smoke, Bubba? And everyone's like, yeah, do it, smoke, do whatever you want. Like we're not going to tell Iron Sheik he can't smoke in here. Like he's like a legend. We were kind of starstruck just being around him. He's wearing the whole gimmick, but he's a great man. We loved him. We're going to miss the Iron Sheik. And he didn't just disappear. He lived every day on Twitter, and it was so fun. What a great life lived. We love you, the Iron Sheik.
I know I wasn't supposed to like him as a kid, but I always rooted for the bad guys because the bad guys always won on free TV and would always screw with the good guys. And to see Hogan win, you'd have to pay the money to get the clean match. And my mom wasn't trying to do that. So I rooted for winners, and I rooted for Iron Sheik as a kid.
I love that.
And it would get kids pissed at me in school because he was anti-America and all this. And I didn't even know that. I just knew he was awesome and talked shit and didn't care what you said. And I thought he was the man. So I love that was your hot take. And I forgot to press this button. Let me press this button real quick. That was Jeff Dye's hot tag of the week. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you guys. You got the bonus content, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Follow us on Instagram, Wrestling with Freddie. Twitter is WWFreddie Pod. Follow us on all the socials so you can submit your questions for the Federation.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.